The Northman. A dark, brutal, and violent Viking's tale with some incredibly beautiful shots and a Swedish Viking in the lead role. This Viking epic movie introduces us into a Scandinavian legend which is the basis of Shakespeare's Hamlet, both tales containing revenge, murder, and the supernatural. From visionary director Robert Eggers, an action-filled epic that follows a young Viking prince on his quest to avenge his father's murder. It is a stunning tale of betrayal and obsessive revenge. Hamlet is the main character, but move the last letter and put it first in the name and you will see the contours of the epic costume. A dark tale of a father murder, a killer uncle, and a little boy who has witnessed it all and wants revenge. Shakespeare borrowed the plot from the Nordic medieval legend about Amleth to Hamlet, but Robert Eggers' handling of the material in The Northman is a far more brutal and more existential experience. A pure bloody masterpiece, brutally breathtaking, so it is being said. In today's video on The Movie Buff, we are going to take a closer look of The Northman. The story starts with a young Viking named Amleth waiting for his father King Olvandil to return from battle. When the king arrives, you get the sense that he is a loved and respected king. His brother Fjalnir is not quite happy with the return of the king. At the welcome celebration, the king gives Amleth a necklace that is taken off of the dead body of a rival prince's neck. He will wear this into his adulthood as a reminder of his father. The king is dying by a wound on the liver he sustained in the battle that's slowly killing him, so he takes his son for a mystical ritual where he takes the qualities of a wolf. During the ritual, Amleth cries and his tears is collected by Hymir the Fool, saying it will be the last tears he shed in weakness and it will be given back when the most he needs it. Amleth watches his father King Olvandil get murdered by his uncle Fjalnir, who then becomes Fjalnir the Brotherless. Amleth escapes and vows to seek revenge. Young Amleth, as rowing away, has this mantra, and it's clear that he wants to avenge his father, save his mother, and kill his uncle. But then, over the years, he's lost his way and he becomes this mercenary. This is the Hakuna Matata part of the Lion King, only with a lot more killing and blood. Amleth meets with the seeress, who reminds him to who he is and what he swore on, and that the gods have a fate planned to him. She gives back the teardrop he shed during the ritual years ago. The seeress also tells him that he will get his revenge on the top of a mountain filled with fire, and that a maiden king will spring from his ashes. He is told he cannot escape his fate. He doesn't really know where to begin until he hears that Fjalnir have lost his kingdom to King Harald of Norway and fled back to Iceland with his wife and son. This is the moment when ravens become a sort of a guide for Amleth, what he believes it is his father and the gods guiding him along his journey. He soon joins a ship filled with slaves that is heading straight to Iceland to Fjalnir's post. He quickly tags himself with the sigil disguising himself as a slave and hurries to the ship, where he meets Olga of the Birch Forest, who will become Amleth's ally and lover. They join forces in Amleth's mission to take revenge on Fjalnir. However, he makes the shocking discovery that his mother is now married to his uncle. He sneaks out the night to find a he-witch using ravens as his guidance. There he learns where he must find the sword the gods want him to face his fate with. A sword forged by the deadliest warsmiths, the most secretive rare iron with the name Draugr the Undead, and it can only be unsheathed in the dark of night or else at Hell's black gates. In order to acquire the sword, he must kill the mound dweller, an undead sword wielder. Amleth slays the creature and takes the sword, although he has been told that according to fate he must kill Fjalnir at the Lake of Fire on the mountain, so he knows it is not the time yet. Until he can fulfill his fate the gods plan for him, he makes sure to make life a living hell for Fjalnir, killing some of his men, letting him believe it was the Christians. Amleth and Olga drugs the camp, and Amleth goes to free his mother, only to find out the harsh, untold truth that his mother never loved his father, and he wasn't a son of a loving marriage that he thought, but that his father took his mother as a slave bride and forced into marrying him. He even finds out that his mother were begging Fjalnir to slay Amleth's father, but Amleth finds it hard to believe as he saw his mother screaming while being carried away, but his mother says she was laughing while she forces herself on Amleth. What seems she is trying to seduce him, but really just tried to betray him again and take his sword, which she fails to do. Amleth, now that his identity discovered, is forced to leave Olga and flee to the mountains. Meanwhile, Fjalnir is trying to find Amleth's allies within the slaves, killing some of them, but when he threatens to kill Olga, Amleth assures his presence from afar, giving Fjalnir a deal. He offers Fjalnir's dead son's heart for Olga's life. Amleth fights the king's men with his entirely sheathed sword, as we learnt before that the blade wouldn't come out in daylight. He is being tortured by Fjalnir to find out of his son's heart's whereabout. Ravens peck away Amleth's bonds, giving a helping hand from the gods to fulfill his fate. Olga comes back to save him. but in his knocked-out state, Amaleth believes he is being ridden away on a horseback to the gates of Valhalla by a Valkyrie. Amaleth, when gaining back his consciousness, expresses his love towards Olga and decides to disavow his fate and escape with her and find a safe place for them. They board a ship to sail away, but Amaleth finds out that Olga is pregnant and she is carrying two of Amaleth's children, but he believes while Fjolnir is alive, their children will never be safe, so he jumps off the ship, leaving Olga behind. Amaleth causes chaos in Fjolnir's camp by setting everything in fire and freeing the slaves. Amaleth is forced to kill his mother and half-brother as they surprise attack him. Fjolnir only then arrives, finding out that his son and wife are both dead, killed by Amaleth. They decide not to fight there and then. Instead, they agree to battle at the gates of hell. As fate predicted, Amaleth fights Fjolnir beside a fiery lake atop the mountain, where Fjolnir be left decapitated, but at the same time Amaleth is receiving a sword through the chest. Amaleth achieved his revenge, but also has brought upon his own death, just as fate predicted. As he dies, he sees Olga holding their two children, knowing that they are safe, and his bloodline goes on. As he dies, the Valkyrie has came after him, carrying Amaleth through the gates of Valhalla. Overall, in my opinion, this isn't epic fantasy. This is mythology, a very hard genre to present in movies without cross-passing it with kitsch. Yet Robert Eggers manages to deliver it as a masterpiece. This movie is brutal and artistic, a pre-Shakespearean version of Hamlet. Characters are simple as they are driven by raw emotions, yet the story is everything but simple and complex on many levels. Artistically, this movie is like nothing you have seen yet. This is risky and brave filmography at its best. Robert Eggers, having previously directed The Witch and The Lighthouse, The Northman is Eggers' third major film. It has shown, if the others had not already, that he is one of the most promising filmmakers currently working. The Northman is a much larger project, and with an estimated budget of at least $60 million, it can truly be noticed on screen. Central to what these technical aspects were trying to convey was the theme of rage, as Amaleth's story was based entirely on this. The film expects its viewers to not hold these characters to the standard we believe we hold as humans today. It is an unforgiving look into the ruthless nature of the Viking world and legends. Guts are spilled and heads are chopped off, and it is this honest depiction that makes this world particularly believable. This is Eggers' vision. It feels untainted, and the results show it. I'd like to thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe for more awesome content from the movie buff to come. Now go and shake off those goosebumps.